Hi, Caroline. So I saw your question about what is the vertex formula. So I'm guessing you're referencing one of two things, so I'll explain both. For parabolas, when you have something of the form y equals a times x minus h squared plus k, this is your vertex form. And that's because the vertex, when it's written in this form, is h comma k. Okay. Now it's not often written in that form, but when it is, you can use that and plot your vertex, right? That's the, when I mean vertex, I mean like this point right here. So that's your vertex, right? Your h comma k. And from there, you can get one other point, and based on whether your a is positive or negative, you'll know up or whether it opens up or down. You can get one other point to graph your parabola. Okay. So that is vertex formula. We often don't see that. We're typically seeing it as y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And in that case, your vertex is at negative b over 2a for the x coordinate. And then you're just going to plug that back into the function, right? Whatever you get for that x value, you're just going to plug it back in for x and both your x's there. And that'll tell you what the y component's going to be. And then that's what you're going to graph, right, as your vertex. And then depending on whether your a is positive or negative, it opens up or down. Okay, so that's what you're doing here. So for example, if you have y equals negative 2 times x minus 3 plus 4, then that means that your vertex is at 3 comma 4. The negative over here means that it's going to open down because your a value is negative. And then you just need one other point. And you can plug in any number that you want. So if you plug in, if you plug in 0 here for your x, right? 0 minus 3 is negative 3 times negative 2 gives you positive 6 plus 4 gives you 10. So if I were to graph this one, my vertex would be at 3, 4. It's going to open down. Hold on. Yeah, it's going to open down. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6 plus 4. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. There's a square in there. That's what we want. Format has a square. Sorry. Yes, it's all in the other places. So, okay. I was like, why are my numbers not matching up? But here's what's happening. Okay. So to get our second point. So we do know that the vertex is 3, 4. We've got that checked off. We know that's going to open down, which is why when I had the point 0, 10, that didn't really make sense for me. So when you're plugging in your 0, 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Square it first becomes positive 9 times negative 2 gives you negative 18 plus 4 gives you a negative 14. And that makes a whole lot more sense because then when we go to graph, your point is way down here. So this is a really skinny parabola that comes down this way. Okay, but that's what your vertex form is going to be. The other thing that's kind of similar to this, just in case you mean this instead of with parabolas, is with circles. And so for circles, you have x minus h squared plus y minus k quantity squared. And this isn't y equals because this is always equal to the radius squared. Okay. And then the center of your circle is h and k. And the radius of your circle is the square root of whatever number is sitting here, right? Because r is your radius. Okay. Remember that your radius is how far it goes out in each direction. So if you had x minus 4 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 9, then that means that your center is at 4 comma 1. Know that those negatives are already built in. So you want the opposite of whatever this is. So positive 4 and positive 1. That's your center. And then your radius is the square root of whatever sits here. So square root of 9. Means your radius is 3. So if I'm going to graph this one, your center is at 4, 1. And you're going from that point in each direction 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3. Here's 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're just sketching, which is why it looks like a funky little circle, but that's your circle. Okay, so that is our standard form for a circle. And then the question you asked about the vertex formula is this one.